gorgeous, and a very happy drugstore December to you. Today's video topic is your best makeup tips from 2023. I did a video recently talking about the ones that I discovered this past year, so if you missed that, I'll have it linked for you below. But these are yours, and there were some really amazing ones I had never heard of before, so let's hop into it. First tip comes from Kat Murr. She learned this from Robert Welsh, and she said instead of using a primer on your skin, use a hyaluronic acid serum and a very light moisturizer before applying your makeup. She mentioned that he used a sunscreen instead of a moisturizer, but she has mature skin on the drier side, so she opted for moisturizer in place of sunscreen, and it made her foundation budge proof. I tried this, and the hyaluronic acid serum I'm using here is from Good Molecules, which I really love this stuff, and it's very affordable. I want to say between $6 and $9 if memory serves me right. I mixed it in with the e.l.f. Holy Hydration Moisturizer, applied it before my foundation, and I did notice a difference in how my foundation wore that day. So this tip is worth trying, especially if you have more mature skin, drier skin. I think that you would really enjoy this. And I had never heard of a hyaluronic acid serum before, so thank you for mentioning it. This is one that I've actually started using at night after I've showered and I'm getting ready to go to bed. I really love how this feels on the skin. So I've also equally been enjoying it under makeup. So I appreciate you for sharing that. Catherine Kelly says to stop lip liners and lipsticks from bleeding, first line your lips like you normally do, blot them lightly with setting powder, and then dust off the excess, apply your lipstick, blot it again with tissue, and then reapply your lipstick for the final time. I know this is one of those where I had to write down the steps before I tested it out because there's a lot of steps to it, but it really does help and it makes a difference in the wear time for your lipstick. So give it a try if you have not already. Dagmar0027 had said that she uses a pink color corrector. She'd mentioned the Milani's liquid eye brightener in the shade Rose, and she puts it at the outer corners of the eyes and just beneath the ends of the eyebrows. She also puts a little bit above the eyebrows to help lift, and she uses this in place of concealer. And this does have a brightening effect to the eyes. It's one of my most favorite brighteners for the eyes, so I love that you mentioned using it like this, and it does make a difference. My Clever Handle had mentioned that she was gifted a sample of a Giorgio Armani lipstick that was much lighter than anything else that she would buy for herself. And while she loved the formula, she did not like the color, but she started using it under sheer lip balms and now has a group of cool nudes, which that is awesome. I'm so glad that you found a way to use it. But yeah, then, I mean, I know now you're like, oh, now I want to go back and rebuy it, right? It's an expensive lipstick. But if you get a lipstick like that, that doesn't work so well on your lips, try mixing it with lip liners, try using it as a blush. You never know, don't judge it till you try it. Try mixing it with other lipsticks. I mean, I've had great success like that too. So I just want to say, I love that you found a way to use it, and that's a really genius way to get great use out of it. Jen8179 had mentioned that she has nerve damage in her right eye, which, sorry to hear that, which causes it to water all the time and turns her eyeshadow into a crusty mess. So to combat that, if you struggle with this too, listen, because it does work. She takes a dot of Vaseline and puts it on the inner corner of her eyes, and it stops the tearing and the migrating of the tears to the eyeshadow. Genius tip. Thank you for sharing that. You probably helped so many just with the most simplistic sounding tip ever, but guaranteed you helped many. So thank you for sharing that. Brandy Ward had said that she takes a spray of setting mist and mixes it with an eyeshadow that she scrapes onto a mixing plate and uses it with an angled brush to apply eyeliner and wings. She says that this eliminates the spending of extra money on different colored eye pencils, and the setting mist helps it last longer. I love this tip. I love it. And I love that you can use it with any eyeshadow you have too, by the way. It's excellent. And a great way to save money too. So I love that you shared that. Let's see, well, who else do we have here? Jill Schmidt had mentioned if you have pigmented lips, while applying your foundation, use it to cover your lips, and this makes applying the lipstick more vibrant and true to color because it creates a blank canvas. And this is something that I do quite often too. So I love that you mentioned it. And you don't need much foundation. I usually take the residual from my blending sponge and just run it over my lips a couple times to cancel out the pigment in the lips, and it does create a primer-like effect, and it makes the lipstick go on much more vibrantly, like she said. So great tip. Bina Becker had mentioned taking a dry blending sponge to tap out concealer, and this will help stop concealer creasing as well as other lines and creases on the face. So I did try that, and it's an excellent tip also. This one works really well too throughout the day. If you notice creases beginning to form under your eyes or around your face, if you have one of those sponges with you, you just take it and buff it a little bit. You don't need much pressure. You don't need a lot of finagling with it, and it instantly corrects it. So great tip. And then she said if you have a face powder you don't like but you're trying to use it up, use the butt end of your sponge to tap and roll and blend it on instead of a brush. And that's a great tip too, because the sponge really does make a difference in how it applies to your face, and it's not going to disturb your skin. Like say for instance you have textured skin, it works with your skin. So that's another great way to use a dry sponge. She had mentioned that if you have not tried a dry sponge in a majority of your makeup application, try it out, experiment, and see what you can find with it. And I love that you're saying that, because there's so many ways to use makeup tools other than what they're meant for, really. Allie G had said, one great thing for those with straight lashes, put mascara on your lower lashes first so the top lashes won't touch the eyelids, and put black dots on the upper lid. Now this is another one of those that's so simple, but yes, you're right, because how often do we put it on the upper lashes first and then we tilt our head down to put it on the lower lashes, and then we have all these black dots up here. So it makes so much sense to put it on the lower lashes first and then look up to put it on the upper lashes. So yay. And then she had mentioned too that she struggles with curling her lashes because they always fall flat. And I wanted to say to you, have you tried doing the heated eyelash curler method and then using a waterproof mascara? I know that some people have straight lashes where nothing works at all, and I get that, but I just wanted to ask. I wanted to put it out there. If that doesn't help, I'm sorry, but I can tell you that based on my experience, I had my eyelashes permed a couple years ago. I just experimented with it, and I also had them tinted at the same time because I wanted to have something like eyelash extensions but not go the full commitment. And I gotta tell you, it was awesome because it made my eyes look very awake and bright, and I wasn't wearing any makeup. And I think some people had noticed it in videos back then that I was posting, and they're like, what did you do to your eyelashes? Perming and tinting. It made such a difference, and it lasted for about maybe 4 or 5 weeks, I think. But I really liked it, so something to consider too. Mama Fletch, I love your tip. I love it. I love all these tips. This is one I had never heard before, and I tried it out the other night, and it made such a difference. I really loved it. Now, this is a perfume tip, and she says she was a former cosmetics counter sales lady. The first one comes from Estee Lauder herself. She says that your hair is the most porous thing on your body, so to make your fragrance last longer, flip your head over and spray the back of your neck, and then throw your hair back, and the fragrance will diffuse throughout your hair without making it greasy, and the scent will last longer. She says this is especially great for colognes and weaker fragrances. It works. It really does. And I enjoyed this tip. It's one that I'm going to start doing. She says you can also put those tiny perfume sample vials into your unscented body creams and lotions and create your own perfumed body products. So I love it. Great tip. Thank you for sharing that. Frances! Hey, Frances! She says add moisturizer to your foundation to combat dry skin. I know she really struggles with dry skin, and that really does work. She says it also helps with patchiness too. So if you struggle with patchiness or dry skin, definitely try adding a moisturizer into your foundation. It does make a difference. Geetha Parasuram. She said she's a long time subscriber. She says she's been watching for years but never commented. Well, first of all, thank you so much for being here so long, and I'm so glad that you took the time to comment. So thank you. It's such a joy to hear from you. She says, while curling the lashes, tilt the inner end of the curler down while continuing to press and release. Lashes curl beautifully and the outer lashes flare out and lift really well. And then she says she brushes the lashes with a spoolie and applies mascara. So I did try this, and it makes such a difference. Like, you wouldn't think just the simple position of how you're holding the curler would affect how your lashes curl, but it does. And I did notice much more flare on the outer corner of my lashes by using this technique. It's a little hard to capture it on camera because my lashes are pretty sparse and they're more long than they are full, so it's a little hard to show it, but I did notice such a difference with it. So if you have struggled, you gotta try that out. It's such a unique but worthwhile tip. Let me know which one of these was your favorite today. I can't pick a favorite. I loved them all. But I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who contributed their tips. I wish I could have included them all. But yeah, keep sharing them because more than likely they will end up in a future video. I love trying new things, and I always find such great material from so many of you, so thank you again, and I hope that you found this helpful. Thank you so much for being here, for taking the time to watch. I speak love, peace, and joy into you and into your home. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow for another video in Drugstore December.